Hi, this is John with Quail Homes. We're in the Vancouvering house. Of course, it's kind of a funny story because you guys relocated from Grand Rapids, Michigan, right?
Correct.
That's correct.
And so I remember talking to you on the phone and you said your last name was Vancouvering. I said, now come on. Well, I got just
You asked for ID, didn't you?
I got just the place to show you. Well, I don't know if we can scan the photo, but they're on Vancouver Lake. What a perfect spot for you guys.
It is perfect.
So tell us a little bit about, you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, thinking about moving out here and then actually going through the build process. How was that? That's not an easy task.
No, there were some glitches doing it remotely, certainly, but it was relatively seamless because you have Nicole handling a lot of the design work. All of that was she'd bring in Cindy, your project manager. So we were probably more knowledgeable going through this custom home than we were the last one because there was a lot of input that was sought, and you're looking at drawings anyway, regardless, and it worked pretty seamlessly for us.
But the other thing is that your staff is amazing, but if you dream it, you'll find it. We can do it. You can build it.
Right.
So that was a lot of things that we really wanted to see and wanted to have in a home. We got.
Was looking at an existing home even an option, or was it build all out?
We did look at existing homes until you brought us to this golf course, and we decided we'd wait until you could build us one. So our preference is custom homes.
Yeah.
Just the quality of the build and quality of the craftsmanship and.
Well, looking at used, usually people build by default. They're going to look at the used homes first, right? Mm-hmm. And then as you look, you realize that's not what I want. Because in your case, this is what we specialize in. We call them empty nesters generically, but really I call it, hey, it's their next chapter. Right. You've lived, in this case you've built before. You're both successful in your careers. You want something how you want it.
Exactly.
And as you went through this customization process, so what was important to you?
The comfort. Everything on one level. We wanted to move in this home and not have to move again. And anything that, our first choice was to build, but anything we looked at that was already built, we had to redo it. So it didn't make sense. This made sense, and everything fell right into place.
Right, and we went to a parade of homes that you were in.
Oh yeah.
Collection of great builders, and we had a nice discussion with you, and you introduced us to the concept of the accessory living unit, something we had not thought of. And I still remember when you said, just think of it, you could have nursing care living in the accessory unit. We had just gone through a friend that suffered a stroke, and it was nursing care, which was the big driver for him. Couldn't get it, and eventually bad nursing care ended his life. So that was top of mind. And when we saw that accessory living unit, very nice.
Yeah, we knew we had to have that.
Yeah, so like in the big picture, when you're thinking about building a home, particularly when you're at this stage of life, I won't quote your ages, but I'm 64. When you build, you got to think about 5, 10, 15, and 20 years down the road. And we've whether it's friends or family, we're working through those issues with our older parents or whoever. Well, one option is to go into a facility, right?
Right.
That's not for everybody.
No.
Right?
For us.
So what you're talking about, one idea is really, can you build your home with that in mind? An accessory dwelling unit, so they have a separate wing of the home, if you will. You can look at our floor plans, but all of our floor plans have these options. It's maybe a quarter of our sales now. And you have to think about, just like you did, maybe not now, I'll use it for other stuff, guests or whatever, but it gives me more options than a bedroom 3.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. You have options now or later.
It is very well done.
Yeah, this is a good one. So when you went through the process, what did you like? We got the floor plan because you worked with me on the floor plan, right? But what about when you started going through the fit and finish, in this case with Nicole? What did you like about that?
Well, we had such great options in direction. So when we would tell her what we wanted, she would find it. I mean, and it was, or find options for us also. And it was exactly what we had pictured we wanted to see in our home. And she took us step by step, instead of looking at the entire house, we looked at sections of it and then put everything together.
But she'd have recommendations, some firmer than others, about design choices, color choices. This won't match, it's slightly off. And often we completely agreed. It was something we hadn't thought of. She introduced cost. You want this, it's going to be $20,000, $30,000. Is that what you want to do? Or you could do this, and the options became a lot more meaningful for us. And we made, I think, smarter choices.
Yeah,
So
smarter choices.
we have a build we're working through now in the design process, and the clients looked at building with us maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. And the spouse, she's a widow now, and now she's working with us, and she's working with Nicole. Well, as I was talking to this lady, you just built a home not that long ago. Why? You know why? She says, is the builder had a designer, which I had to pay separate. It was well over $20,000, which we don't charge for. It's in our builder fee. And she didn't listen to me. So now I'm in this home. It is not what I wanted. And I'm going to do what I want. I just lost a husband. I'm going to do it how I want it.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And believe it or not, that's out there a lot. In this case, I've never really said this on film. She knows it. Sydney's here with us today. But I hired Nicole straight out of school. And she took architecture first and then switched to interior design, so her mind can work both sides. But I actually wanted her and train her for like what you just described, because we design for clients, not for ourselves. And a lot of designers have trouble with that.
Yeah, she was a joy to work with. We were sort of,
She got excited about her job too.
She loves it.
This wasn't a mundane
She's a worker, too.
She was very excited about her job and excited about our ideas, which it's like a buy-in. Like she has invested in us. Yeah.
So I know you live here, and we've had some prospects come through here, and you recommend us. I know that's happened.
Recommend it.
Tell us why. You're raving fans.
All right, you take this one, Dan.
well, I'm going to start. So, we have a custom home and some of the features we'd expect. For me, what I really like about and why I like custom homes is the solid home feel. This place, and it's a feeling I have every time I'm in it, is this is quality built. The walls, there's not a rattle. There's everything is solid.
Yeah.
And you can live in buy a spec home. I've had them, and you hollow core doors, and you go through the list. Not here. We love it. We picked the features. Of course, our day is spent looking over Vancouver Lake.
Yeah, no, you got a good spot here.
And when you built it with exactly these views that we had discussed with you on the phone.
Yeah.
Actually, they're bigger than I had thought they would be. So we got great utilization of the space. It's a little temple. We love it.
You did what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That you're a builder that not only builds quality product, but you did what you said you would do.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what we want.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty stickler on that.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing you say that it feels solid, but there's also something else Jane was telling me before the interview.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have to dust much.
Sure don't.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
You don't have to, we don't get dust.
Yeah.
You don't have to dust much. My husband here thought we need, now that we've moved in, once a year we gotta get the furnace cleaned, the
Ductwork, yeah.
ductwork cleaned. And I said, no, we don't have any dust. If you don't,
Right.
if everything's clean and you don't have dust, that means your ductwork is clean. So
And you can
you can feel it.
smell feel it, smell it.
It's a
just-
strange concept to tell people in the prospect stage. Like when I was talking to you,
Yeah.
I can say things, but until you feel it, you don't always believe it.
Right.
Because
Oh,
your bias is
I
from
don't
what
believe
you've
it.
done before,
Exactly.
right?
I brought in a clean air humidifier from our other home, and when we moved in, I turned it on. It was 99%. It went to 100, but that is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Right.
If that
The
is
clean
100,
air.
clean
Yeah.
air, no allergens. If it's clean like that,
Right.
Yeah, so
what
like,
you want.
you can look at the videos. We got lots of them on our website. Talk about our construction methodology, but the bottom line, I can just tell you this, is we started working on this about 20 years ago.
Right.
And the theory that I had was if someone's going to build their last home, you should use the techniques and people that are craftsmen that are available to give them their best shot at their next chapter. And one of them is in your home. You're in your home more.
Right.
You guys are type A professionals.
yeah.
When you're home, you're still type A's, but you're at home more.
Right.
So if you don't get that home right, guess what happens? We get phone calls. And that's the secret sauce for us, is we
part
don't
for
want
me.
phone calls other than smiles.
The weirdest part as a new retiree, I have sometimes I've stayed in the home for 2 days straight. I always feel like I've been outside.
A little guilty.
No, I don't
Oh.
feel guilty at all. I don't
He
I don't
feels
feel
Oh, I see, because
He
you
feels
have
like
it
he's
there.
on a vacation still.
all the
A lot of
windows
natural.
are-
Well, that's exactly right. It's a vacation feel for you, for sure. I believe that. Yeah, I feel like you're resort living.
Yeah.
But the solidness and the stuff in the dust, you don't get, I'm going to call it dust free, but you don't get that if your home isn't sealed right, if things aren't installed properly. Dust comes from airflow, really from the outside primarily. And then when you filter your air like we do, it's a HEPA filter, similar to what you might have in an operating room.
Right.
So this clean air is hard to define until you're in here.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Yeah, it's different. It is
you feel
so different than our.
And
our
you taste it with the
landfill.
water too.
Yeah, the
water
fault
is-
filtration.
Yeah.
You know,
is
that we
excellent.
recommend that too.
Yeah.
Anything else, you guys?
We were very pleased with Nicole, and we were very pleased with Cindy.
We
And-
waited a long time for you, John,
Yeah.
to get this property ready.
Now you
You remember, it's been about 6 or 7 years, and we were in Michigan.
Well, this is another factor that's true, is whose timetable. It's not the builder's timetable, it's
No.
your timetable. And what I tell people is we're ready when you are.
Yeah.
And we don't push and we don't try to be overly aggressive in the sales process because we can't dictate the
Yeah.
time.
Right. And so that timing was weird for us because we ended up selling pretty
Quickly.
and then
6
all of a
hours.
sudden things were moved up. But in looking for financing, I talked to a banker, and this banker said, "Oh, Quail, 7 months every time," and it was like clockwork,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you don't really know me behind the scenes, do they?
Yeah. Well, you brought us out here when
Because
it
we
was still
run a tight ship.
You
Yes.
do. You brought
Very
us out
tight
here
ship.
when it was still a golf course.
Yeah.
And it
No,
was
yeah.
still open.
That's right.
So we had.
It's hard to visualize,
We knew
yeah.
where we wanted to. You took us out down to the lake. You took us on the other side. We knew we wanted. When you brought us here, we were sold.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to wait for this property until that golf course was done.
And it worked out pretty
It worked out
nice.
perfect.
You got a one of a kind here. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for the
All right,
interview.
John.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.